the Montauk Project. They say that 2 kids were kidnapped here.
Cross over, please.
This land was once the Native Americans' territory. My name is Nicholas. I am a young paranormal investigator in search of proof of the spirit world. I am also a person that can easily sense and feel spirit energy around me. I am joined by my uncle and cameraman, William, and my father and executive producer, Nick. We will search for ghosts at some of the world's most creepiest haunts. This is a haunted legacy. My dad and I are inviting my Uncle William to Montauk, New York, for another search at Camp Hero and Montauk Manor. My father and I have visited these 2 places once before with my grandmother Helen back in 2014. And throughout our time there, we were able to get a brief assumption of what these 2 places hold for us. Now we're back to do an actual ghost hunt on both sites. We started off with Camp Hero. In 1942, the United States government set up Fort Hero, which was named after Major General Andrew Hero Jr. This place was then renamed to Camp Hero in the same year. At the end of World War II, the camp was shut down and it was used only as a training facility to the U.S. Army. In 1958, a semi-automatic ground environment radar system was set up, and it was designed to detect any airborne objects with a range of around 200 miles. And then it was ultimately shut down in 1981 due to a development of spy satellite technology. It has been reported that 2 boys were kidnapped and put in a special training facility on the camp during an event called the Montauk Project. The goal was to have the 2 kids experimented on to see if they could be used for remote viewing or bringing in objects from another dimension with the use of the Montauk chair. And it has been declared that in one experiment with the Montauk chair, one of the boys accidentally opened a door that released a 4th dimensional creature they referred to as the Junior. It has been thought that this creature was captured underneath the grounds and that it was closed off. Okay, we're back at Camp Hero now, in memory of my grandmother Helen. I visited this place 3 years ago with her and my father, and now we invited my Uncle William. So what we're going to do now is try and see if there's any more paranormal energy since we were last here. So come on, Uncle William. My Uncle William and I did an EVP session in front of the radar tower, as my father Nick wandered off. William, can you say something? My Uncle William began asking questions to the ghosts.
Is anyone here? Anyone present? Show yourself. Any spirits or anybody, period, here? Cross over, please.
Let's see. Hello, spirits of Camp Hero. I'm back with my Uncle William now. I was here 3 years ago with my grandmother Helen. Do you remember me? With no luck on the ghost meter or voice recorder yet, I informed my uncle and father about the bizarre junior creature. They say that 2 kids were kidnapped here for a private facility, and they say there's like a mythical creature here called the Junior in the basement of the radar tower. So that could be some of the supernatural activity here. Now, I was just telling my father, Uncle William, that there was some mythical creature here called the Junior. I know there's this whole thing on the news with the Montauk Monster and all that, if you heard it. Like, what do you think of that? Do you think that's possible, or do you think it's all made up?
It could be made up. People make up things like the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland is made up, so this could be true. You never know.
Yeah, I mean,
Till you experience something, you really can't say if it's made up or
that
not.
could be part of the supernatural activity here. After we discussed about the Junior creature, we all decided to circle the property once. Okay, now, so here at my second search at Camp Hero, I'm not going to go too far. I don't want to trespass because even people like us, we can't trespass. So I'm going to do a voice recording session. Andrew Hero Jr., are you here? My name is Nicholas again, if you don't remember me, so... So far, our EVP session wasn't going as we hoped. I never searched this area of the property. When I was with my grandmother Helen, we just got a brief assumption of what this place was like, but now we're doing a ghost hunt here. When the three of us completed our recording session, I pointed out the iconic sign in front of the radar tower to my Uncle William. This was the same exact sign that I read the time before. Can you tell me what you think so far?
Interesting.
Then my Uncle William and I approached the radar tower once more, and I asked him what his judgment was on the property altogether, like I did with my Grandma Helen. So Uncle William, what do you think of this place? What are your thoughts about the property in general? I mean, it was built the year you were born, a lot of history involved.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
The radar tower, I guess the radar tower isn't really not used much anymore.
Yeah, and they say it's haunted and all that stuff. They say American soldiers were stationed here, and they say that the ghosts of the American soldiers that perished in the war are haunting the place.
American soldiers were stationed here, and it seems that the ghosts of the American soldiers that perished in the war are haunting this place. That's from what I understand.
Before we left the property, we sat at one of the picnic tables, only a few feet away from the radar tower, and we started discussing and reminiscing about our long-lost member, Helen. So fellas, another reason why we came back to Camp Hero was to remember my deceased grandmother, and I remember the information that she told me about the property was very, very informative, so I'll start with you, Uncle William. How do you feel now? Like, do you miss Grandma at all? Like, do you, think back to her now? Or...
Yeah.
Or does it make you feel her energy at all? Like she's here
Well,
too?
I don't feel any energy, but I just, I miss her. But then, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I do miss her in certain ways.
She was courageous and all. Like she still came out of her comfort zone, with all this stuff. Then my father shared his thoughts.
Well, I remember last time we came here, she was with us, so I'll always associate her with this place.
Yeah,
and the trip that we made out here.
Yeah, and I think it's really great that we came back, just to remember her. And did you feel her energy? I want to ask from your perspective.
Not really, no.
No, I don't mean energy like, spirit-wise.
No, but she's in my thoughts, yeah.
Unfortunately, throughout our time at Camp Hero, we didn't pick up any voices or sounds on my voice recorder. Now we're going to head over to Montauk Manor, where I was also with her, and see if anything changes over there. With no supernatural activity to take home, we leave Camp Hero sending a profound message to Helen. We will always recall the amount of boldness that she has had as an elderly woman to step into the unknown. We all pray that she was with us during our time here, and now that she is on the other side, it is possible that she too has helped us banish these unwanted negative energies that are affiliated with Camp Hero. Our next stop in Montauk is about an 8-minute drive from Camp Hero. Here, you'll find the extravagant Montauk Manor. When we pulled up to Montauk Manor, we all got out of the car and headed towards the back of the manor. This place was constructed in 1925 by Carl Fisher, and it opened its doors in the spring of 1927. And this place was initially designed as a playground for the wealthy and famous of the Roaring Twenties. And then, when the stock market crash occurred, this hotel was forced to shut down, until it was later renovated into another hotel and resort. There have been reports of hearing Native American chants. This land was once the Native Americans' territory. And they also say that there's supposed to be a cemetery only a couple feet away from the manor. So there could be some spirits of Native Americans or people from the 1920s, or maybe even Carl Fisher himself. I asked my Uncle William what his perception was on the manor, like I did with my grandmother Helen the time before. So, Uncle William, this is Montauk Manor. I brought Grandma here, so tell me your perception on this place, if you would.
I don't know, I wasn't here before, but it looks nice. It's historical, big.
I pointed out the balconies on the side of the manor to my Uncle William. I was telling Grandma that there have been reports of seeing apparitions on or around the balcony, so what do you think about that? I mean,
if you don't experience something, you really can't say firsthand, but it's possible.
Yeah, well, she said people have said that they felt or saw Native Americans in the manor. So it could either be outside or inside.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, what do you think? Like, you don't feel anything out here?
No.
Look over here. Can you see, like, along the side, like the balconies here? People have seen apparitions, you know?
Yes, that's what they said. They've seen apparitions on or around the balcony.
We took a moment to try and sense any energy near the balconies, but nothing happened. We took a small break from our search and got a chance to admire the manor's beauty and scenery. So, now that you're here, Uncle William, I know you weren't here before. Besides, all that haunted stuff, what do you think of, just the property itself, like in terms of beauty and, the design is really exquisite.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It looks like a nice place to stay at.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look down that area over there, there's like a pool and all that, we haven't seen that last time, so maybe walk around there.
Maybe.
Just take a little reprieve and let's look at the views, so. We now approached the front of the Montauk Manor and headed inside to search in the hotel's lobby. Once we got inside the Montauk Manor, we all gathered around and decided to come up with a plan. We all sat down for about 5 minutes and discussed about what our objective was going to be. I took a moment to stand up and look around. My Uncle William and I headed towards the fireplace in the hotel's lobby and tried to do another recording session. Alright. As I sat near the fireplace, I began feeling a heavy presence. Uncle William, just so you know, I can feel like Carl Fisher's presence, because now that I think back to the history, it comes alive. So I mean, I know it sounds like my imagination and all that, but do you believe me?
Maybe you do. I don't know. I don't feel anything, but maybe you do.
It almost felt like as if Carl Fisher was walking around the hotel's lobby as we were sitting. Like I have said, I am a person that can easily sense a change in the energy field with my own body senses. And it almost feels as if the energy associated with Montauk Manor's past repeats itself over and over again. At least it's one around the fire. So, my uncle and I now headed near one of the hotel's elevators, and I sat in one of the chairs and tried to see if I could feel anything different. Let's see now. When we got to this area, the energy field did in fact change. So, nothing's changed really since the last time we were here at Montauk Manor. I'm glad we got a chance to check the inside out. I mean, we couldn't go on like the first or second or fourth floor. They say the fourth floor has more activity, like especially during night. They say that they hear Carl Fisher talking. Long Island paranormal investigators were here before. So, I mean, I wish we could have done more, but obviously there's people coming in here, you know, customers, so we couldn't do much. But all I'm left with Montauk Manor is that I did feel like a weird vibe. Once I got towards the fireplace, and once I got towards the outside, I started thinking back to my grandmother Helen, so maybe she was giving us a sign that she's watching over us and she's protecting us from anything malicious here, in case there is, so. We now left the area. I branched off from my uncle and father and made my way towards one final area of the manor's interior. Okay, I can't do too much here in Montauk Manor, so all I am going to do is do one more recording session right now. I know we don't have the best equipment right now, but that'll change down the road. You'll see, we're going to get more advanced technology and equipment. But for now, let's do one last recording session here. Carl Fisher, I definitely feel his energy. There's one of the hallways down there. Back in 2011, a pair of investigators had visited the Montauk Manor at night one time, and while they were taking photographs, they ended up capturing something in 2 photos. These 2 photos were taken right outside of the Montauk Manor. From the looks of it, it appears to be a white mist overlapping the lampposts right outside the manor's front entrance. Then we all left the Montauk Manor. As we got back in our vehicle, we noticed that the time was 4:17 in the afternoon. And what makes this interesting to us is that these numbers are actually the month and day of Helen's demise. She died on April 17th, 2016, at the age of 81. And what makes this funny is that this occurred shortly after our walkthrough inside Montauk Manor. We all felt that this could have been another message from Helen on the other side. We have ghost hunted in Montauk, New York twice so far, and during both times we were able to feature 2 iconic attractions, Camp Hero and Montauk Manor. When we first checked out Camp Hero and Montauk Manor, myself and my father were able to invite my grandmother, and this time we were finally able to invite my Uncle William. While we were at Camp Hero, we were all trying to study about the junior creature, or the Montauk Monster. As we departed from Camp Hero, I was left with a very positive feeling that my grandma was guarding us from anything dark. And during our second visit to Montauk Manor, I was able to inform my Uncle William about its history. And this time, we were finally able to check out some of the manor's interior. As I looked around the hotel's lobby while I sat near the fireplace, I had a suspicious feeling that we were being watched by something at unrest. Although we weren't able to explore much of Montauk Manor, we were able to receive a potential sign from my Grandma Helen as we drove away. These 2 places in Montauk, New York will always be an unforgettable experience for us, as well as our time with our original member,